Two timelines intertwine across two world wars, one led by a brilliant female spy, the other by a desperate young American searching for a lost cousin. Beat. Their collision detonates secrets long buried beneath fear, guilt, and the rubble of Europe. Section 1. Eve Gardner, recruited into the shadows. Europe, 1915. Beat. The Great War grinds on, and 19-year-old Evelyn Gardner believes her stutter will keep her forever in the background. Yet her gift for languages draws the notice of the enigmatic Lily, codename Queen of Spies, who runs the Alice Network, an all-female web of operatives embedded behind German lines. Beat. Eve's initiation is swift and perilous. In the occupied town of Lille, she adopts the alias Marguerite Lefrançois, serving food to German officers while eavesdropping on troop movements, artillery shipments, and morale. Each night, she enciphers her findings in lemon juice ink and slips them to fellow courier Violette. Beat. Lily's credo is simple. Information, not violence, will win the war. Eve learns to master silence, to make herself as innocuous as a shadow, yet every whispered secret carries the weight of lives saved or lost. Beat. Under constant threat, bonds of emphasis, sisterhood, form among the spies. They share coded jokes, impossible cravings for real coffee, and a vow never to break under torture. But the occupation tightens its fist. Food grows scarce, German patrols multiply, and Lily becomes a legend the Germans are desperate to unmask. Beat. Eve teeters between exultation at her own agency and an ever-growing dread that one mistake could doom them all. Her internal battle, between courage and terror, loyalty and self-preservation, sets the emotional groundwork for the novel's central theme: the personal cost of war on women who refuse to remain invisible. Beat. When Eve spots a betrayal she cannot prove, the seed of paranoia sprouts. She catalogues faces, gestures, even the cadence of footsteps, because any acquaintance might be the informant who brings the Alice network crashing down. The section closes on a cliff edge. Eve, summoned by Lily for one last impossible mission that will force her to confront the dark side of her own ingenuity. Section 2. Charlie St. Clair, a post-war quest in ruins. Fast forward to 1947. Beat. The world breathes again after a second, even more devastating war. 19-year-old American Charlotte Charlie St. Clair arrives in London pregnant, unmarried, and desperate to find her beloved cousin Rose, who vanished in Nazi-occupied France. Charlie's parents want her secret taken care of in Switzerland, but Charlie bolts, clutching one fragile lead: the name Eve Gardner scribbled on hotel stationery. Beat. Charlie's journey unfolds against bombed-out streets and ration queues, where hope feels rationed too. She meets Eve, now a reclusive, hard-drinking woman living in a crumbling London house with disfigured Scottish ex-soldier Finn Kilgore. Eve's hands are twisted by pain, her nights haunted by insomnia and gunfire echoing in memory. Beat. Initially, she rebuffs Charlie's quest, yet something in the young woman's tenacity pricks Eve's scarred conscience. Beat. Charlie refuses to surrender. She quotes calculus proofs her brother once taught her. Find the unknown by working backward from what you do know. That logical persistence, mirrored in her hunt for Rose, nudges Eve toward reluctant collaboration. Soon, a battered Lagonda car roars across the channel, carrying 3 wounded souls. Charlie pregnant and frightened, Finn wrestling his own war ghosts, and Eve with a revolver in her handbag, vowing to track down René Bordelon, the collaborator who, she says, damned both the Alice network and her life. Beat. This road trip narrative frames a post-war Europe littered with scorched churches, repurposed POW camps, and black market bazaars. Charlie glimpses the lingering trauma in every vacant foundation. Beat. Yet she also tastes resilience, a village baker kneading dough before dawn, children laughing amid rubble, and Finn's quiet humour thawing her shame. Thematically, this timeline explores emphasis, rebirth, how even amid ruins, love and purpose can take root. Charlie's unborn child, once a mark of disgrace, becomes a symbol of future possibilities. Beat. The section crescendos as the trio reach Roubaix and discover Rose's signature on a Red Cross ledger dated 1944, suggesting she may have worked in the resistance. Charlie's fear transforms into resolve. She will not leave France until she unearths the truth, even if it destroys every lie her family once told to keep her safe. Section 3. Past meets present. Truth on a collision course back to 1916. Beat. Eve's final mission shatters when René Bordelon, owner of the Lilith restaurant, exposes her double life. Torture follows. Hours under scorching lights, fingernails torn, German officers leering while Eve clings to memories of Lily's motto, "Courage, my dear." But betrayal hits harder when she realizes Renee admired her intellect and still sold her out for profit. Beat. Renee's psychological cruelty brands Eve more deeply than physical scars. He taunts her with exquisite wines she cannot drink, robs her of speech by mocking her stutter, and forces her to translate messages that will kill Allied soldiers. Ultimately, when Lily and Violette are captured, Eve signs a confession meant to save her friends, only to learn it was useless. Lily dies in a German prison, whispering, "Tell them I fought." Beat. Eve survives the war, but survivor's guilt grows into self-loathing, every sunrise a reminder of comrades silenced. Beat. Now, in 1947, the Lagonda stops at a secluded estate in Limoges, where René, untried for war crimes, deals in stolen art. The years have been kind to his fortune, not his conscience. Vines creep across marble columns, a metaphor for rot beneath elegance. Beat. Eve, trembling but resolute, marches through the gates. Charlie and Finn shadow her, witnesses to a reckoning 3 decades in the making. Dialogue crackles like electric wire. Renee recognizes Eve by her eyes despite time's ravages. He dismisses Charlie as a little American and Finn as hired muscle, but Eve reveals she has documented proof of his collusion with both German armies. What begins as a confrontation morphs into a psychological duel, each question a scalpel peeling away veneers. Beat. Intercut memories highlight the novel's exploration of moral ambiguity. Can love exist between predator and prey? Did Eve, in some corner of her heart, crave Renee's regard? Kate Quinn refuses binary answers, instead layering motives like palimpsest pages. The emphasis, truth. Eve finally demands is not only for Lily or Rose, it is for herself, a chance to break the shackles forged by shame. Beat. The section ends with gunfire in the dark, Renee escaping into orchard shadows, and Charlie discovering a cellar ledger proving Rose worked under an alias for the resistance, and that Renee delivered the cell to the Gestapo in 1944. Section 4. Liberation, Loss, and the Power of Women's Voices. Renee flees south toward the Swiss border. Eve, Charlie, and Finn give chase, their shared mission fused by blood debt and newfound affection. Beat. On isolated mountain roads, Charlie confesses her pregnancy to Finn, expecting rejection. Instead, he offers gentleness and a scavenged chocolate bar, symbolizing sweetness carved from scarcity. Beat. In a derelict alpine lodge, past and present finally converge. Eve corners Renee at dawn, pistol levelled though her arthritic fingers throb. She demands he speak Lily's name. Renee scoffs, claiming history belongs to victors, not little girls playing spy. Eve's retort is quiet but seismic. History belongs to those who, emphasis, record it. She pulls the trigger. The recoil splits open decades of silence as Renee crumples beside crates of looted paintings. Beat. Afterward, legal repercussions loom, yet a sympathetic French inspector, himself a former resistance courier, records Renee's death as a shootout during arrest. Eve is no longer prey, but a witness giving testimony for fallen sisters. She burns the confession she once signed under duress, its ashes scattering like black snow across mountain winds. Charlie's trail for Rose ends in a churchyard near Oradour, where a mass grave holds victims of an SS reprisal. The name Rose Fournier appears on a hand-carved memorial cross. Charlie weeps, yet the grief is tempered by certainty. Rose fought and died on her own terms. Beat. Months later in London, Charlie delivers a daughter she names Rose Eve St. Clair, binding past and future inside a single fragile life. Eve, now godmother, surrenders her whiskey bottle to hold the infant, its warmth seeping into bones once numb. She dictates her wartime memories to Charlie, who types them for university archives, ensuring the Alice Network's legacy won't fade again. Beat. The thematic resolution is clear. While wars erase landmarks and governments forget, stories keep bravery alive. By finding and telling them, Charlie and Eve reclaim ownership over trauma. In doing so, they exemplify the novel's conviction that women's voices, muted, ridiculed, underestimated, hold an enduring capacity to ignite change.